What's up, you guys? Steve here with your stimulus check update and news update. And yesterday, President Joe Biden held a town hall meeting in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're going to be taking a look at that video footage where he's going to be discussing the current status of the stimulus package and his stance, which is go big. He's saying economists across the board are saying we can't go too big, dump a lot of money in now, and it's going to help us recover faster. Also, we're going to hear him discuss one of the most controversial provisions in the package, which a lot of people are saying could ruin the entire reconciliation process, and that is the $15 per hour minimum wage. And lastly, we're going to hear him also discuss, in his opinion, how long this pandemic could last and we could be in this current situation. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as to what unfolded last night and where we are as of today, February the 17th. But before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, it'll just take a second. If you like and appreciate these video updates, take a second to ever so gently smash the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Like button, comments, and sharing these videos out to anybody that you think might be interested. It helps out the channel. Thank you so much. And also, if you're not already part of the viewing community, the Ram fam, and you would like to stay up to date on everything rolling out, why don't you go ahead and take a second to smash the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that way as soon as I upload videos, you can get notified right away. And we just hit 100,000 subscribers, so I'm going to be giving away free money. I'm going to randomly select 4 viewers here on the channel and give them some money as a way to say thank you. And also, now that I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm a cool YouTuber, so my name has a black stripe on it, so that way all the bots and scammers that try to impersonate me, you won't get me confused with them. I have a black stripe, they do not. And also, if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3. I do my best to respond to as many questions here on YouTube as I can, but there's so many I don't get to them all, so Instagram is also a great way to get a hold of me as well. But you guys, now let's go ahead and dive into what unfolded yesterday with the town hall meeting with Joe Biden. Let's go ahead and dive right in.
You've made passing a COVID relief bill the focus of your first 100 days. Those on the right say the proposal's too big. Some on the left say it's not big enough. Are you committed to passing $1.9 trillion bill, or is that final number still up for negotiation?
I'm committed to pass. Look, here's some of you are probably economists or college professors, or you teach it in school. This is the first time in my career, and as you can tell, I'm over 30, the first time in my career that there is a consensus among economists, left, right, and center, that is and including the IMF and in Europe, that the overwhelming consensus is, in order to grow the economy a year, 2, 3, and 4 down the line, we can't spend too much. Now's the time we should be spending. Now's the time to go big. You may recall I managed the last experiment we had with a stimulus, and it was no, I don't mean it that way, but it was $800 billion. We thought we needed more than that, and we think we did. It ended up working, but it slowed things up by about, and depending who you talk to, between 6 months and a year and a half. We can come back, we can come roaring back. It's estimated that if by most economists, including Wall Street firms, as well as think tanks political think tanks, left, right, and center, it is estimated that if we pass this bill alone, we'll create 7 million jobs this year. 7 million jobs this year. And so the thing we haven't talked about, and I'm not going to go on because I want to hear your question, I apologize. We haven't talked about, I remember you and I talking during the campaign, and you had the former guy saying that, well, we're just going to open things up and that's all we need to do. And we said, no, you got to deal with the disease before you deal with getting the economy going. Well, the fact is that the economy now has to be dealt with. And what is it? Look at all the people. You have over 10 million people unemployed. We need unemployment insurance. We need to make sure that, you have 40% of the children in America talk about food shortage. 60% of it. Did you ever think you'd see a day in Milwaukee? You'd see in the last 6 months people lining up in their automobiles for an hour or for as far as you could see to get a bag of food? This is the United States of America, for God's sake. We can't deal with that. We promised, look at all the people who are on the verge of being kicked out of their apartments because they cannot afford the rent. What happens when that happens? Everything. Look at all the mom and pop landlords that are in real trouble if we don't subsidize this in the meantime. Look at all the people who are on the verge of missing, and how many people have missed their last 2 mortgage payments and are able to be foreclosed on. That's why I took executive action to say they cannot be foreclosed on in the meantime. Because look at what the impact on the economy would be. You think it's bad now, let all that happen. Look at all the people who've lost their insurance. How many, I'm not asking for a show of hands, how many of you had jobs with corporations or companies that provided health care, the COBRA health care? Well, guess what? The company goes under, and guess what? You lose your health insurance. Well, we should be making sure you're able to pay for that so that we keep people moving. So there's a lot. So I think bigger, and the vast majority of the serious people say bigger is better now, not spending less.
So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as he's saying go big right now, and it's going to help us recover faster. And he's also saying we got to get provisions out because it can get much, much worse if we don't act right away. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But now let's continue watching and hear what he has to say about a question regarding the $15 per hour minimum wage. Let's go ahead and dive in.
You're proposing a $15 minimum wage. Given the lower cost of living, specifically in the Midwest, many business owners are concerned that this will put them out of business, forcing them to downsize or cut benefits. How can you instill confidence in small businesses that this will benefit the Midwest business growth?
Well, first of all, the South is not much different than the Midwest in that regard as well. But here's the thing. If you look back over the last 40 years, as minimum wages increased, people haven't, the end result of net employment hasn't changed. The vast majority of the economists, and there's studies that show that by increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour, it could have an impact on a number of businesses, but it would be de minimis, et cetera. Here's the deal. It's about doing it gradually. We're at $7.25 an hour. No one should work 40 hours a week and live in poverty. No one should work 40 hours a week and live in poverty. But it's totally legitimate for small business owners to be concerned about how that changes. For example, if we gradually increased it, when we indexed it at 720, if we kept it indexed to inflation, people would be making $20 an hour right now. That's what it would be.
The Congressional Budget Office says that a $15 minimum wage would lift 900,000 people out of poverty, but would also cost 1.4 million people their jobs. Is that?
Yes, but there's also, if you read that whole thing about Pinocchios and all the rest, there are also equal number of studies say that wouldn't have that effect. And particularly as you do it in terms of how gradually you do it. So let's say you said you're going to increase the minimum wage from $7.25 an hour between now and the year 2025 to $12 an hour, to $13 an hour. You double someone's pay, and the impact on business would be absolutely diminished, and it would grow the GDP, and it would grow and it would generate economic growth. But it's not illegitimate as a small business person to worry about whether or not increasing it at one fell swoop would have that impact. I do support a $15 minimum wage. I think there is equally as much, if not more, evidence to dictate that it would grow the economy and long run and medium run benefit small businesses as well as large businesses, and it would not have such a dilatory effect. But that's a debatable issue.
So there you have it. Let me know your thoughts. We heard him once again confirm that he does support a $15 per hour minimum wage increase. But we also heard him in a previous interview say that he's not necessarily confident that it's going to pass through the process of reconciliation. So I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date and let you know what's going to unfold there. We do know that it is included in the bill, but we'll see what happens with it. Now, let's continue watching and hear what he has to say about how long all of this is going to take place with the current pandemic. Let's see what he has to say.
When do you think this pandemic is, when is it going to be done? When are we going to get back to normal?
Well, all the experts, all the committee that I put together with the leading researchers in the world, in the United States, are on this committee of mine, headed by Dr. Fauci and others. They tell me, be careful not to predict things that you don't know for certain what's going to happen, because then you'll be held accountable. I get that. But let me tell you what I think based on all that I've learned and all that I've studied and all that I think that I know. It's a high probability that the vaccinations that are available today and the new one, Johnson & Johnson, God willing, will prove to be useful, that with those vaccinations, the ability to continue to spread the disease is going to diminish considerably because of what they call herd immunity. And now they're saying somewhere around 70% of the people have to constitute. Some people said 50, 60, but a significant number have to be in a position where they have been vaccinated and or they've been through it and
have antibodies.
And have antibodies. And so if that works that way, as my mother would say, with the grace of God and the goodwill of the neighbors, that by next Christmas, I think we'll be in a very different circumstance, God willing, than we are today. I think a year from now, when it's 22 below zero here, a year from now, I think that there'll be significantly fewer people having to be socially distanced, have to wear masks, etc. But we don't know. So I don't want to overpromise anything here. I told you when I ran and when I got elected, I will always level with you. To use Franklin Roosevelt's example, I'll shoot you, give it straight from the shoulder what I know and what I don't know. We don't know for certain, but it is highly unlikely that by the beginning of next year's traditional school year in September, we are not significantly better off than we are today. But it matters. It matters whether you continue to wear that mask. It matters whether you continue to socially distance. It matters whether you wash your hands with hot water. Those things matter. They matter. And that can save a lot of lives while we're getting to this point where we get to herd immunity.
So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As he said, he wouldn't be surprised if this time next year or by the time school starts, things have significantly improved and there's a lot less need to social distance. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And also, right now, Congress is working away on the next bill, and we saw the official CBO text from Ways and Means on the stimulus checks, the unemployment, and all those provisions. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check it out right here, where I go through that actual document that came out on the 15th. And also, if you haven't seen the short series, I've been doing a lot of provisions just in 60 seconds, getting you caught up while dancing. And those are right here as well. And also, I'm going to be releasing some more videos on investing in stocks and real estate and just things to help out people's financial situations. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. And once again, you guys, if you made it this far and you haven't already, take a second to smash the like button, join the viewing community, smash the subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram as well at SteveRam3. And I hope this reaches you well. Have a blessed day. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.